Hey, what's up, guys? It's Shining Polaris. Another great edition of of my bad takes and thoughts and reactions and recap of last night's AEW Dynamite. Now, this Dynamite is the fallout of All Out. So, some big things happen here, and we're just going to talk about it. I just want to say that my videos will probably take place in this room for a while because I'm very lazy to clear out my office. So anyway, you just had to enjoy the background and the clutter. So the first match of the day was Malakai Black versus Dust Rhodes, and I was looking forward to this match because I really like Malakai Black and how AEW has booked him so far. So him against Dustin, you knew this was going to be a pretty good match, not like your usual squash match that Black has been in so far, because Dustin is a veteran and he's kind of like the sub-boss, right, to Cody Rhodes. So Dustin did put a lot of offense onto Malakai, and there's a couple times where Malakai did look shaken up. And but as you know, we already kind of expect how this match was going to end. But to still make Dustin look strong even in defeat, Malakai Black had to toss Dustin onto the exposed turnbuckle, which Dustin hit his face on to that like metal part, and then followed up by Malakai Black kick to the face, and that is how Dustin lost. So, but as usual, Rhodes fashion, at the end, Malakai Black is raising his hands up for the win. He had a little bit of blood in his arm, and I'm like, was he bleeding? I'm like, no, that was actually Dustin's blood. So during the match too, Malakai Black took out Cody Rhodes' boot that he took to try to just make Dustin angrier. So anywho, as a result of this match, they announced their first Grand Slam match, which is going to be in New York, and that will be Malakai Black versus Cody Rhodes. So that's going to be a big match. I am really hoping that Malakai Black beats Cody. I am not actually sure, because every single time this happened, Cody wins it. So I am going to be rooting very hard for Malakai Black, and I'm very sure everyone else in the stadium will too. Hopefully he does win, because like I said, I think that Cody cannot get any more over as he is, and this is the way to make Malakai Black look very strong, especially since I'm very sure Malakai is going to have his own faction, House of Black, right? So you want the leader of the faction to look very strong. So I will personally be going to a Grand Slam as well. So no, I don't have ringside. Are you kidding me? Those are like very hard tickets to get, but I am on the floor. I'm about maybe 6 rows from the ringside. So and I will be wearing a jazzy outfit to it. So we will see that when it comes in the mail. But yeah, so that's what I think. I hope this saga ends with Malakai beating Cody regardless. But, just like with Double or Nothing, I really thought Ogogo was going to beat Cody, and he didn't. So don't be surprised if Cody beats Malakai. So there you go. All right, the next segment is, what is it? CM Punk segment. So CM Punk comes into the ring, and he's just talk about how now that he have defeated Darby Allin, what is next for him. And then immediately Taz, who is our commentary, by the way, because Excalibur is not there because he's going to get married. So congrats to Excalibur. Taz interrupts CM Punk, and they both start arguing with each other. Now, what I like about this segment is that they both really, CM Punk and Taz, they give good promos, and it feels very real. So they really feel like they were arguing with each other. But basically, CM Punk comes in, and he's like, who should I challenge next? Taz interrupts him and basically says, don't ever talk about Team Taz. So as a result of that, you have CM Punk saying like, okay, you think your guys are so good, send them all after me. Send me Ricky Starks, Hook, and Will Hobbs after me. And then CM Punk ends it by spitting Taz's line at him, saying like, so basically he ends the segment that way. Now, my take on this was, yes, I really like how this is going, because in an article, like in February, I believe, CM Punk did list a name of people that he want to face at AEW, and Ricky Starks and Will Hobbs was on that list. So that's cool. He's going to be in a feud with Team Taz, and yes, bring it. I want to see CM Punk face them all. And I've said this on Twitter, like jokingly, but not really. He needs to face Hook, okay? Hook is the next star. I'm telling you right now, he has the look. You know, he just has that look and that attitude, but he hadn't done anything. He had done nothing except basically be a valet for Team Taz. But I, jokingly say that no, Hook is the real star, and he is the Team Taz secret weapon. So so that'd be funny. Like Hook's first match ever should be against CM Punk. That would be crazy. But I think CM Punk, I think number one he's going to face, or who he wants to focus most, I think it's going to be Will Hobbs and Ricky Starks. So cannot wait to see that, because I would love to see, like, this whole thing goes down. So yes, we got that going. All right, and then the next, so that follow up immediately with Will Hobbs match against Dante Martin, and again, I think Will Hobbs is going to get a huge push, because him being in hopefully now it's going to be in the CM Punk feud thing. But so on the rankings, you had Orange Cassidy, which I did not even know, because I didn't look at the ranking. Orange Cassidy is number 1 ranked again, and then Will Hobbs is number 2. So of course, like, when this is before Double or Nothing, when Orange Cassidy was number 1 for like the first time ever. Orange is, I feel like, is one of those wrestlers that don't need a title and don't need to be ranked to like still be popular, because he's gonna be popular whatever. So Will Hobbs did defeat Dante here, which I believe will bring him up to number 1 ranking. So that's cool. So yeah. Yeah, like I said, Will Hobbs beat Dante on here, and then there you go. So we'll continue on. Hopefully that will just keep Will Hobbs up there, and then get him ready to face CM Punk for whatever. All right, and then right after that you had a little Dan Lambert segment with Men of the Year. Not really sure, not really feeling this right now, because I thought when Dan Lambert got on, he was going to bring some of his people in his the group or whatever in. Maybe that's still the possibility, but right now it's looking like he's going to be somewhat of a manager to Men of the Year, which is Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page. And so far they hadn't been doing anything but sit in the skybox and yell at people. So, yeah, I think now, I think in a while, but in a very short time, I think Men of the Year are going to start being a very serious tag team contender, especially for the titles. So, and I think having Dan Lambert there, they're going to just try to be this super heel tag team, because now that Lucha Bros have won, Lucha Bros, they're like super babyface, everyone loves them, and you want like that real contender to face them, because yes, because right now, like, the top tag teams are like the newer tag teams, like Varsity Blondes, the Acclaimed, yeah, like I said, some of the newer tag teams, like all the, as I call, veteran tag teams, somehow they hadn't really been on the scene. My favorite Best Friends, obviously they're injured, so that's why they're not on. But even like FTR, Santana Ortiz, I don't know where they are. They're just not going for the titles anymore. Though I think Santana Ortiz are going to. I'm just saying, my prediction. New York, Santana Ortiz versus Lucha Brothers. But then Santana Ortiz are going to have to lose to that, because Lucha's just won. Which is why I said before, if I had a prediction video, I was going to predict Young Bucks were going to beat Lucha Bros so that they could lose at Grand Slam to Santana Ortiz. But anywho, that was just my opinion. I think we're still going to have that match, Lucha Brothers versus Santana Ortiz, in New York. But then, like I said, Santana Ortiz are going to have to lose. But anywho, I'm veering off track. Like I said, I think with Dan Lambert on Men of the Year side, I think they're going to start being a serious contender to the titles very soon, and then lose. So there you go with that. Then the next we have very good segment. This was MJF and Brian Pillman Jr. MJF comes into the ring, just talking about him. He was the one that beated Jericho for real, but because everyone is so biased against him, that's why he lost. Even though he did pin Jericho, but Jericho had his foot on the rope, but he was like, it's basically everyone screwed him over. So with MJF, he started going after Brian Pillman Jr.'s family, who was sitting at ringside, his sister and his aunt. I'm telling you, MJF, he just was super hard in this segment. I mean, he was saying some mean stuff, and I know it's all approved or whatever, but still, just hearing that, I'm like, man, you're hitting it, you're hitting Pillman so hard here. So yeah, so after making fun of his family and just making fun of Cincinnati too, which was hilarious, Brian Pillman Jr. came out, started trying to jaw jack with MJF. Which resulted in Wardlow, protecting MJF, getting into Pillman's face. But then MJF, he's so dumb, he started making fun of Wardlow, basically saying like, Wardlow, nah, you're gonna try to help me now when you didn't help me during the match with Jericho. He's like, just stand in the corner and look pretty, and you could just see Wardlow just like looking pissed. And so when Pillman attacks MJF, Wardlow kind of had his back turned for like a second, but then who's paying his bills? That's MJF. So Wardlow had to turn around and help MJF. But you see that slow turn, and eventually Wardlow is gonna blow up and kick MJF ass eventually. So, but it's good to see that. It's good to see that start to build up. But right at the moment, Wardlow is still working with MJF. So back to what I was talking about. So, next after MJF and Brian Pillman, we have the Pinnacle and Dark Order match. So, just want to say this. I think they should not have had this match on the card. I think the card should have been just really focused on the fallout, everything that happened at All Out with all the debuts and potential feuds and matchups. I felt like this was a very random to put this on the card. I think one of the reasons is because they want to emphasize on the Dark Order breaking up, but since a lot of people don't watch Elevation, I guess they just put this on here to tell people, yes, this is going on. So but I think adding this match to the card not only was kind of random, it made the card too full. When we could have had like a longer main event or maybe longer segments, because everything felt super rushed. So if they just eliminated this match, it could have had like extra like 10 minutes or whatever. It was still a good match and all, but it's just like I think they should have kept this for next week's Dynamite instead. But anyhow, so you have the Pinnacle, which was FTR and Shawn Spears versus Dark Order, John Silver and Evo and Stu Grayson. And because the Dark Order is fighting with each other, they lost because of the confusion. So Pinnacle won. It was Shawn Spears pinning John Silver for the win. So Pinnacle leaves, hand raised, and Dark Order started fighting with each other in the ring. And then it ended with Anna Jay and Tay Conti running in to try to split things up. So here are my whole thoughts on that. I think one of the reasons why Dark Order is splitting up is because so Dark Order is Evil Uno and Stu Grayson's creation, and I think they want to continue being heel. But ever since Brody Lee passed, Dark Order is just going to keep being a babyface group. And then you have the bigger stars. You have like John Silver, Alex Reynolds, and then with Alan Angels and Preston, who are very well liked by the crowd, and they just don't seem like they could turn heel. So I think splitting the group up is probably like the best way, because like I said, I think Evil Uno and Stu Grayson want to continue to be heels, while the others, since they're also growing in their popularity of their own and want to stay babyface, this is the best way to split them up. So you have the thing saying like, okay, so who's going to be the one to bring them together, right? So here are the top choices and my reason for them. So one of the top choices that they think, it's going to be Adam Hangman Page that's going to bring together. Or bring like them family together. Everyone's going to hug and kiss at the end. Honestly, I don't think it's going to be him. I think when Adam Page comes back, I think he is done with the Dark Order, and he is going to focus on going after the Elite, and especially Kenny Omega, for the title. So I don't think he's, my opinion, I don't think he's going to go back to Dark Order anymore. I think that is done. The next very popular and kind of obvious choice is going to be Anna Jay, because you have obviously Anna Jay coming in. She already ran in several times to try to stop the Dark Order from fighting, and also, you know, ever since she came back, she's one of the really popular women wrestlers, and I think AEW is going to try to push her to the moon. So yeah, so I can see Anna Jay trying to, you know, bring them together. So, but here is my personal opinion, what I think is going to happen. And either way, either he brings them together or stays apart, it doesn't matter. I think by Full Gear, I think that was when we're going to see. Now again, this is all just me speculating. So I think at Full Gear is when we will see the debut of Bray Wyatt, and I think he is either going to stay on one side, or he could bring them together. But I think having Bray Wyatt in that role is good, because I know nobody, and I understand nobody is ever going to become the real leader of Dark Order, and I agree. So I think with them splitting up, it would make sense, because if Bray Wyatt was going to be the lead, or it could be like, you know, Evil Uno, whatever, it won't be the Dark Order, it will be whatever that split is. So like if Bray Wyatt either joins Evil Uno's side or see, I keep calling him Johnny Hungee because I think John Silver side. You know, it won't be the true Dark Order. You know what I'm saying? So, but also he could be the one that bring him back. Like either way is fine with me, and it doesn't matter. I just feel like this is the way to bring Bray Wyatt into this Dark Order storyline. So. That's my prediction, and I'm always wrong. Just want to take it back to in late June when I personally said I wanted to see CM Punk, Bryan Danielson, and Malakai Black in AEW, and all three of those came true. So anywho, I just thought that was cool. So those are my takes. We're gonna see by Full Gear. I don't know. I mean, I would assume if AEW was going to bring in Bray Wyatt, I would think it was going to be in a big way, like at Full Gear, kind of like what they did with Cole and Danielson. So, yeah, so that's what I think. So, but I'm just going to say again, this match should not have been on tonight's episode. It should have been on the next one. So, let me see. I think I did something wrong here. Oh yeah, I actually forgot about the women's match. That's why I was like, I'm forgetting something. So, so then we had the women's match. This was Jamie Hayter versus Ruby Soho. So this is Ruby Soho Dynamite debut, and you know she won the Battle Royale to gain her number one contendership spot to go against Britt Baker at a future time for her title, and you know she's going to go through her goons. So Jamie Hayter is going to be her first. I like Hayter a lot. And I'm kind of sad that she obviously had to lose this, even though she just debuted on AEW as well not too long ago. But you know, so this will be her first match that she lost. Who cares about the match? Match was good. Obviously, you had a lot of shenanigans outside the ring, but Ruby Soho finally won the match against Hayter. That brings Britt Baker in to beat up on Soho and her crew. So as the three of them were beating up on Soho, you had Rio jump in to help Soho, and then Chris Statlander. So now we're going to get that 3-on-3 match. Britt Baker's, I'm just calling it the practice. the practice versus Rio, Chris, and Ruby for Rampage. So that's going to be a great match. What I like is that finally having Rio come in, hopefully she will be more involved in this feud, because Rio is such a good wrestler and I like her a lot. And she is the draw, okay? People are tuning in to watch Rio, so hopefully she will be more involved in this Britt Baker feud as well, and you know, team up with Soho. So, yeah, there you go. I also I think that match is not officially confirmed. I think only basically 1 or 2 matches are confirmed for Grand Slam, but I'm very sure it's going to be Britt Baker versus Ruby Soho for the women's title at Grand Slam. All right, so the next so then it was that match, and then Dark Order match, which I already talked about. After that is the segment I wanted to watch the whole time. This was Tony Schiavone interviewing the Elite. So the Elite comes out first, and then it's funny because the Young Bucks are like walking really slowly because they're obviously like almost died in their tag team match. All the Elite comes out looking obnoxious as usual, which I love. And then as they're in the center of the ring, you had Nick Jackson introduce Adam Cole. So Adam Cole comes out, does his whole entrance. Everyone is like, Adam Cole, you know, everyone's cheering for him. He just looks so happy there. I really like that before Adam Cole did his promo, he goes up to Tony Schiavone and basically tells him to his face, don't get too close to Britt Baker, I'm gonna kick your ass. I love that. So they, you know, like you don't really see that in wrestling where they you know, make it known that they're a couple. You know, they try to like just separate the universe. I think that's really cool that they did that. So during Adam Cole's little promo, he's basically trying to tell the AEW crowd that yes, he has been elite for a long time, even though he just started in AEW, and that he is, you know, like a top wrestler. He won, you know, tons of world titles in the past, and he's going to make his in-ring debut next week. So yeah, so this morning I woke up and I tried to start some shit. No, not really. I'm just trying to defend the other part of the elite that it seemed like everyone in AEW hates, which is the Good Brothers. So obviously I watched the segment a few times because I just really like what Adam Cole had to say. But it's funny because during this segment, you know, Adam Cole, he says, Young Bucks, best tag team ever, right? Kenny Omega, best wrestler ever. And that's it. And but he doesn't mention anything about the Good Brothers. And a lot of people pointed out, like, if you look at the background, and I did too, you can see the Good Brothers are like, okay, so it is hard to see, so I'm not even sure if that's really the reaction, because they were really in the background. But Cole did not mention Good Brothers at all. So here are my reasons for that. Number one, for real, AEW do not mention Impact a lot, and I think that's just part of the contract or the game, right? Same with NWA. If those two companies don't pay AEW to mention them, then they're not, right? This is all about money. So I think that's part of it, because you never, even the few like Good Brothers matches, you almost never hear them talk about Impact, even though, you know, they carry the titles, whatever. So I think people may overthink that. I think that's the real reason why they don't mention them a lot. But also, let's say this continues. This will be the long-term storytelling, right? So I will bring that back up when that happens, because it did look like that they were like, you know, we have the titles, but it didn't say anything about us. Just in the Bullet Club world, right? The Good Brothers, they are not part of the elite. Okay, they are very, very Bullet Club. So, and then you can kind of tell that too when they're on Impact or New Japan. They talk about Bullet Club first. So I know, and it's going to break my heart when that happens. I feel like eventually they will break up. So, because you have Don and the Good Brothers, they are like Impact first, right? So, I think just saying, I don't want to be the one to admit it, because I like the Good Brothers too. I think eventually down the line when they split, I wouldn't be surprised if the Good Brothers end up joining Bullet Club. The real Bullet Club eventually, because like I said, that is they talk about them all the time, and that's their foremost. But I don't want to see that. I like the group we have now. As for, and I always stick up for the Good Brothers online, because I know a lot of people hate them, because I understand their humor is not for everybody. But they are original Bullet Club, and I think that if anything, they should at least get that respect. But I'll be buried online because I started off my timeline with that, saying why you all hate the Good Brothers. So yeah. So anywho, that's my take on that. So it could have been totally intentional for long-term storytelling, the eventual breakup of the Good Brothers and the Elite, or it could just be, like I said, that they don't mention Impact because they're not getting paid to mention them. So that's my two takes on that. So after all of that, Kenny Omega gets on the mic, and he's basically saying that at All Out they were trying to end the show on a wholesome note, but then someone interrupts them, and then you hear Bryan Danielson theme song comes out, and Danielson comes out to confront Kenny Omega, and you can see the crowd is going wild because Danielson goes right into it and says, who want to see me kick Kenny Omega's ass? Like immediately. So everyone's like, yay, all about that and everything. And basically Danielson is saying to Kenny, you know, that you're afraid to you know, confront me because, you know, I'm the one. You said no one's on your level, but Danielson's saying that he is on Kenny Omega's level, if not more. So that should be the match that's on Grand Slam, which is why I bought my tickets to that show, because I originally thought that's when he will debut. Obviously he didn't, but that should be his first match. So I'm going to say it right now, it has to be, or these very expensive tickets are for nothing. So Bryan Danielson versus Kenny Omega. I don't think it'd be for the title. I think it's just be for just a great match and have him just beat Omega's ass. So we'll see about that, because again, we're slowly trying to make the fall of the Elite, right? Because you're gonna have Adam Page beating Kenny Omega at Full Gear. So this could be a way to do that. After that, you had so of course you had Kenny Omega does not like what Danielson's saying. He starts beating him up. The whole Elite comes in and tries to gang up on Danielson. But then his little group, I'm gonna guess they're like a little group now, which is Christian Cage, Jurassic Express, and Frankie Kazarian, and Bryan Danielson. So are they like a little faction too with no name? I don't know, but they're always coming out together. So they come in. You immediately see Jungle Boy attack Adam Cole. I believe that is going to be a future match. In the future, big match. Could be either a pay-per-view or one of those special Dynamite episodes. I think we're going to take that back. But then you also see Frankie Kazarian beat up on Cole too. So at the end of that little segment, Brandon Cutler is in the middle of this, as I'm going to just say, Christian Cage led group. And then he gets bicycle knee kicked right into the face by Danielson. So that you end that segment. So as a result of this, we're gonna have Adam Cole's debut match next week against Frankie Kazarian. So that is going to be great, because that is, like, again, you could say that's super long-term storytelling, because they were all part of the Bullet Club, and and then with Frankie Kazarian being the lead hunter, which, by the way, obviously Kazarian is going to lose. So far his elite hunting has not been great. So, but that's fine. He beat him on Impact, right? So yeah, but they can't beat him on AEW. Then the end, we have the main event, which is Jon Moxley versus Minoru Suzuki, which is a match I was really looking forward to, because Moxley is just, you know, I'm hoping what Moxley does is just start facing everyone from New Japan, and I think that is the route we are going, so that's going to be very cool to see. Some people have said that the way that Moxley comes out from, he always walks through the crowd in his entrance, is that during All Out, and then this one, he didn't seem too engaging with the fans as he mostly does. I didn't notice that, because I guess maybe I wasn't paying too much attention. Of course, at the end of the match, Moxley was all about the crowd, but during his entrance, I guess he was more reserved. And I think that is a sign of his very slow heel turn, which I think is good for him. And my video got cut off again. I'm not sure what's wrong with my camera, but anywho, we're just gonna end it. I know my video became long, so like I was saying, people are thinking that is a sign of Moxley turning a heel, which I think is a good idea, because it's time to change the character up, and especially if he's gonna face some of these top stars in New Japan. You need someone with that's a strong heel and strong baby face to make the match really good. So anywho, we'll see what happens down the line. But yeah, so again, thank you guys so much for watching. Please follow me on Twitter, which I'm very active on, Shining Polaris. And then I just reached 2,000 followers on my TikTok, and I post a lot of really cool clips on there. Follow me there at Shining Polaris AEW. So thank you so much. I will see you very soon. Definitely gonna make a video for Rampage and possible maybe for Impact. I hadn't done one for Impact in a while. So, alright guys, thank you so much, and I will see you next time. Alright, bye.